of you ladies know that a wedding is supposed to be the most perfect day of a bride's life. Men just kind of show up and hope that it works. But it's not always the perfect day. If they could, many brides would redo their big day. You know, not invite certain people. Choose different bridesmaids. But what happens when things get so out of control that the pasta is still frozen, your maid of honor threatens to be a no-show, or worse, you're walking down the aisle and your dress gets caught on a nail? Not pretty. Well, it could be pretty, but depends on where you're sitting, I guess. My first guest, Christy, refers to her perfect day as a tragedy and feels her matron of honor is to blame. Take a look.
Angela, my best friend of 10 years, ruined my wedding day.
I believe I did my part as the matron of honor.
When Angela got married, I was her maid of honor. I did anything I could possibly do from her. When it was Angela's turn to be the maid of honor, she acted as if she wanted to take on that role, but she didn't fulfill that role. I went and picked out my dress by myself. I saw my reception place by myself, and I'll always remember doing those things by myself without my best friend. You're not the only one not bringing your kids to the wedding.
I was very upset.
She was hysterical, crying to me on the telephone. That was the first time that she wasn't going to come to my wedding. If you choose not to come, that's your choice. And she was gonna throw a bachelorette party for me. It was 2 weeks before my wedding, and she had nothing planned.
The invitation had said hosted by, and my name wasn't on it. I just broke down.
At the shower, when Angela didn't show up, and she didn't even have the decency to call, she left me with her bill. I had to pay for the 4 people that she said were coming.
I told Christy more than once that I would not go, since Christy kept telling me I was ruining her wedding.
I'm Christy's best friend.
When Angela got up to make her toast, she made reference to the fact she never thought I was going to get married and that I'd be alone forever.
Glad that you found someone to love. I was wondering what was going to happen.
I was horrified. I couldn't believe my matron of honor was making fun of me. She made reference to my weight.
How skinny she used to be.
Hey, watch it now.
It ruined the idea of the friendship that I thought we had. DrPhil, my best friend, spoiled my wedding. Is it worth trying to get back to the way it used to be? Or should we just move on and go our separate ways?
You were married how long ago?
November 1st.
So kind of since that toast that was given, you all just haven't seen each other.
Correct.
And you're still upset?
Definitely.
Okay. And are you upset about this as well?
Yes, I'm upset that the friendship is no longer there.
Yeah. You say that your wedding was ruined by Angela, right? You got married.
Right.
Okay, and you loved the ceremony, and you got your husband home, got him unwrapped, and you're okay with that.
Yeah, definitely.
So you said he's everything he appeared to be, and you're happy with all of that.
The part of my wedding that Angela ruined was, I guess, the dream that I had of the events that would take place before the wedding, the events leading up to the wedding, getting ready for the big day.
Did you intend to create problems at the wedding? Do you think you did, and did you do it on purpose if you did?
At the wedding, I did not think I caused any problems. We joke around all the time, so I thought I did not think I ruined the wedding day.
Mm-hmm. What'd you think about the toast that you gave?
I had something planned out, and I totally forgot it. I don't like talking in front of people, and I was trying to make light of how I was feeling and just trying to get Christy to laugh. I did not mean to upset her, and I did not know I upsetted her. What
she heard you say was, well, go figure, you finally found somebody that would marry you, even though you're not skinny anymore. That's pretty much what you heard, right?
That's all I heard.
The whole idea was just that I was proud that she found someone that she loved and is able to have what I have with my husband. And I was glad that she was able to find that.
Okay, well, she says that you made a promise a week after the engagement to throw a shower, but you never did. That when your name was left off of an invitation to a pre-wedding function, that you called the in-laws who were doing it and pretty much got indignant and kind of cussed them out, said, "How dare you, you're rude and inconsiderate." That you RSVP'd yes for the shower, but then you failed to show up, and that you claimed you didn't go because you couldn't afford the $75 per couple that was involved in some of the activities. You said you weren't coming to the wedding because you couldn't bring your kids, and that an hour and a half before the ceremony, you just disappeared for an hour and missed the pictures and all of that sort of stuff because you said you had to go pick up your husband.
Pretty much.
Kind of capture the spirit of the day?
Exactly.
How do you...
For the bachelorette party, I was planning and I had planned, and Christy was supposed to give me the numbers of everyone to call, and I was told a couple days before I got the invitation that her future in-laws had decided that they were going to change it and do a wedding shower and then like a couple's bachelorette and bachelorette party.
Okay, but how come you guys weren't just talking about this when it came up? I mean, you're supposedly best friends for 10 years, right?
Right.
And you say, don't bring your kids, but then a week before the ceremony, you ask somebody to be your co-maid of honor now because
Right.
you were afraid she had going to show up or something. So you asked, and you let her bring her kids.
I wasn't aware that she was bringing her kids.
Well, she brought them.
Yeah. And they weren't the only kids that showed up to the wedding. And I thought
Yeah.
about that during the wedding, looking across the room and seeing Angela and her husband sitting at the table, remembering the argument that we got into, going, okay, now she thinks it was just her kids. And I was just being witch or, you
Well,
know.
yeah, I'd kind of feel funny if I was told I couldn't bring my kids and I got there and there's kids everywhere.
Me and my husband we did not say anything about there was no kids, and we went with the day.
Angela ruined all the events leading up to my wedding, and then she spoiled the entire event. If I could do any of this over again, I think I probably would just elope and fly to the islands.
Okay, we're talking about how the process of planning a wedding can sometimes break up friendships and result in long-term grudges. Did you become a prima donna at the time you were getting married, and so you're just playing the victim? And were you like jealous of all of her attention, and so you started being hard to get along with and kind of sabotaging this? So I'm kind of sitting there balancing all of this. I get Robin to come in, read the whole notebook. We talk about this. You're willing to throw a 10-year friendship away over what appears to be misunderstandings, clearly at a critical time. I mean, it's a big day for you, and I think when somebody's getting married, everybody kind of needs to say, look, it's their day, and if I need to kind of step to the side or kind of put my feelings aside and give them this day, then that's a gift that I'm going to do. It's a gift that I'm going to give.
I felt like the whole time I was trying to please Angela. I was trying to help make arrangements for someone to care for her children.
But isn't that your fault? If you give her that much power to ruin your day,
Right.
Isn't that your choice?
Right.
I mean, aren't you choosing to say, I'm going to be so focused and obsessed on her conduct that it's going to overshadow my wedding day?
I was just so concerned with her actually being there that I was doing everything I could to make sure that she would be.
Yeah, because you were worried she wasn't even going to show up.
I didn't know till a couple days before the wedding.
And maybe she's not worthy of all of your consideration. Maybe she's just not worthy of your faith. Maybe she's not worthy of your trust, that she's going to be sensitive to you. I don't know. Maybe you're just a couple of misfits, and you don't deserve each other, or maybe you do. I don't know. Out of everything that happened in that wedding, what are you most ashamed of?
It was calling the future in-laws and saying how upset I was and however I said it.
You got pretty hot on the phone,
I did.
right?
And I wish I never did that, and I should have just kept it to myself. And
All right, what are you most ashamed of that you did in this process that affected your friendship?
The worst thing I think I did is I kept at it. Instead of just letting it go and letting them all do their thing and throw their hissy fits, I was right there in the middle of it and trying to find out
Well, now
what
that's
was
kind of a
wrong and-
left-handed compliment to yourself.
The
Well,
drama
I say, what are you
was
most
quiet.
ashamed of? I let those people drag me down. That's not owning it. Are you telling me you don't have any ownership in this problem?
I think the bottom line is if I would have from day one just as sucked in my gut and said, fine, you can bring your children, it would be nice, and just maybe given a little more to her and understood her situation, that a lot of it could have been avoided.
So do you think you were maybe too rigid about some of this stuff?
I was way too stubborn, I believe.
Yeah.
I felt like it was my day, and that's the way it had to be, and I don't care what anybody else had problems with it that day.
And there's some justification for that, but there are limits as well. Now, let me ask you something. You haven't seen her since the wedding. And you were good friends for a long time, and it's affected other parts of your life.
Correct.
I want you to answer this as honestly, without defensiveness, as you possibly can. What do you miss most about your friend not being in your life?
I miss the girl talk, the actual talking and saying how we feel, and not how are the kids or how is the husband. Just the emotional part of the relationship.
So why do you miss that? Tell her why that's a big thing to you.
'Cause you stuck there with me after my marriage, after the children, and everybody else left. And we did everything together. And I miss that.
I do too.
So you tell her what you miss most about your friendship.
I miss being able to just be women and not aliens in our own home. We're the only one that knows what's going on, and the only time I feel like we're able to let some of that go is when we had each other. And now I just feel like I don't have anyone, and I miss that.
What do you think it would mean if you decided, you know what, high pressure situation on both of us, we can't change the history. I'm going to forgive myself for what I did that I shouldn't have done, didn't do that I should have done, and I'm going to forgive my friend. And I'm going to just walk out of this anger and just forgive everybody involved in this situation. What do you think that would mean?
I think that by doing that is the only way we would be able to move forward. And I am truly sorry, Ange, if I wasn't the kind of friend that I should have been. And I just, I really hope that we can get back what we used to have.
I'm sorry that you feel that I ruined your whole wedding. That was not my intention. And if I had to do over, I would change a lot. I'd be there for you.
Do you want her to forgive you for what you did in this thing?
I do want you to forgive me. I want the relationship back.
And do you want her to forgive you?
Definitely. I definitely want you to forgive me. And maybe we can do more than just meet for lunch at a playground and talk more like we're friends and not just because we have to.
How does it feel right now to have that wall coming down between you?
It's strange. We never have talked about it since it's just been there and just never said anything.
I think the wall's just gotten higher and higher, and now it's just what we're used to.
We're just used to having that awkwardness, and now what do we talk about?
Aaron and Jake recently got engaged, and Jake fears their big day is about to be ruined because Aaron and her mother are constantly fighting and nitpicking over every single wedding detail. Take a look.
The experience of planning the wedding so far has not been a pleasant one.
Who can't go for just a couple hours without a drink?
That's just something we thought we'd want.
She turned into Bridezilla and I turned into the Wicked Witch.
The argument that I had with my mom about the wedding dress lasted like 3 hours.
I always envisioned her in lace or pearls. She wanted none of that. I would really like this, but she would not. It has too much lace on it.
She wants to take charge and plan it all herself. The thing that she's forgetting is to include me.
Since my husband and I are paying for the wedding, we feel that we should have some say.
I don't think I should agree on everything that they suggest. This is my big day.
I couldn't stand listening to them argue anymore. Let's just go to Vegas.
DrPhil, my mom and I have been fighting non-stop. I want her input, but I want my sanity too. Please help.
Well, I have a question for each of you to start with, and I'm going to start with you there, Mom. What do you see your role in this as being?
The planner. The wedding planner.
Yeah, we talked to you a lot before the show, right? And one of the things you said that jumped out at me, you said, I am absolutely, quote, a control freak. I feel like if I control it, it can't go wrong. And if I don't, ... So is that true?
Yes.
Are you a control
Yes.
freak?
Yeah.
And so is that your role then? Your role in this is to be a control freak of your daughter's wedding. Is that the role you've taken on? You're going to plan it to the perfection and T.
That's the role I've taken on, but I need to scale back a little bit, I think.
Yeah. Don't suck up now, lady. I got a whole notebook on you.
I know.
Got a whole deck of cards here, too. All right, so what's your role in this?
Well, it's to listen and go along with what she says, I suppose. And our wedding is being planned, from a distance, so I can't be there every weekend or every second. So I rely on her a lot to tell me things of, oh, I checked out this place, or I think you should go here.
You want the input, you just don't want the direction. You don't want to have to do everything that she says for you to do. And I'm not even going to ask your role, because you are such a passenger in this.
That's all I want to be.
Yeah, you're back in the 12th row, and you just show up today, which is okay. I mean, because it is for you guys to do. But now, you give mixed messages. In your mother's defense, and Lord knows you need one, you give mixed messages, don't you? Because I say you teach people how to treat you. I think we teach them by the way we react and do. You teach people how to treat you. You say, I feel that for my wedding, it's got to be my way or the highway. This is my day. And then you say, I feel I had to give in to her or we couldn't make the progress I wanted. You say, I want to do what I want to do. If I want to sit on the floor at this wedding, I will. And then you say, well, my parents offered to give us the money and let us plan the wedding, but I don't think I could do it by myself.
Right, I want my parents.
I'm not through.
Help. Okay.
I'm making a case here. You said it scares me most when she threatened to pull out and not help me plan my wedding. Mm-hmm. And you say I'm a people pleaser. But yet you say this is my wedding and I'm putting my foot down. I mean, aren't you kind of giving her a mixed message? Like, help me, help me, help me, leave me alone.
Right, I want her help in all this planning, but I don't want to be told no.
And you basically said, even on the tape, you said, we're paying for this, so we ought to have a lot of say in what happens.
Well, some.
What do you mean some control? You found a dress you wanted, you ordered it, she said no, shows too much cleavage, you canceled it. You wanted to do a capture the bride tradition, which is a tradition that you like, right? Or your family and friends like. Right. And you said that's ridiculous. Right. We're not going to do that. It's not classy.
Well, she wanted to play Capture the Bride after the ceremony and leave the guests waiting for a couple of hours, and the books say you shouldn't do that.
There is a basis for it. There's even a name for it in Germany that I can't pronounce. It's Die Hochzeitfeier or something like that. I actually looked this up. The tradition in this part of the country is that it is done, and it is a way to ensure that all the guests are in place at the reception before the bride and groom get there. And the wedding party times this out, and it's a really fun and interesting tradition. You didn't like the number of guests. You told her she's going to have to cut her list down. You didn't like the number of attendants she was having. She had to cut that down. You even argued about how you were seating the wedding party. Like bridegroom, maid of honor. Every other, instead of letting them sit together. You said, we're not going to have souvenirs. We want to have a buffet, not a sit-down, because somebody might change their mind about what they want, which sounded to me like their problem, but nonetheless, weddings are given by the bride's family, right? They're not ransomed. It's like you're a money bully. It's like, I got the money, you're going to do what I want you to do when I want you to do it. Isn't that kind of how this is coming across?
Well, it kind of does sound like that, but I was just going by what the book said.
What do you mean what the book said? That's like saying they say.
Well,
have you ever driven by they university? There's no they. We're talking about how to avoid having the biggest day of your life turn into the biggest disaster. Now, Lori and Aaron are bickering over every detail of Aaron's wedding, the dress, the guest list, the flowers, the reception, you name it. And look, here's the thing that I really worry about. You don't want this to be anything except a wonderful day for her. I mean, that's what you want, and that's your motive, right?
Correct.
Partially. The other is to feed the control monster that rages inside you by your own description. You don't want to be so controlling and overbearing in this situation that she winds up resenting you in years to come, correct? I mean, you wouldn't want that. Because do you want to please the author of some book, or do you want to please your daughter?
I want to please my daughter.
I mean, isn't that what it comes down to? Because most of the people that write these etiquette books, they're a little uptight. You know what I mean? I mean, don't you know, now there's an exception to that rule, and it's Peggy Post, which I'll talk about in a minute, but aren't a lot of them a little stuffy? And y'all don't strike me as being stuffy people.
No.
So who are you trying to impress?
I don't know. I didn't know anything about weddings. I didn't know how to be mother of the bride, and so the first thing I did was to buy the books. And
Buy the books.
Yeah.
And start reading them. And people you don't know telling you what
What
is
we should
right
do.
for you and your daughter. Okay.
Right, yes.
But you, on the other hand, need to understand that weddings are a celebration, but also they're more than that. It's a ritual that in society and in cultures throughout the world has been something that kind of marks a passage from child to adult. And if you're single, it's not the only way that you go from child to adult, but it is one of those things where, you know, traditionally it's a leaving of your parents' home and control. And so there's a point there where you have to say, you know, it is my wedding, it is the beginning of my life, and I'm going to do what feels good and right to me. Now, I think life is all about intention, and I think when you look at your mother's intention, her primary intention is to help you have a wonderful day and a wonderful time. And because you know that's her intention, and you do know that, right? Mm-hmm. Then you should weigh carefully what she has to say. Because she's working really hard at this, and she's doing her homework and reading books.
Yes.
And everything. So she is probably a pretty informed advisor that has your best interest at heart. But I've got to tell you, I would get married in a gunny sack under a tree before I would let somebody blackmail me with the money for a wedding. I would do that. I mean, if it got down to do it my way or I ain't paying for it, then I just have to say, you know, you're just going to have to keep your money because I'm not going to do that. And that may be your rite of passage here. Now, you know, you're kind of implying that here and there, but I don't think that she is really trying to be mean-spirited like that. I really don't. I'm not trying to paint you with a black brush here, but I'm telling you, you have to break away and do this. And if you are going to give the wedding, give it. Don't ransom it. Give it.
No, but we did offer to stay here.
Yeah, but that's kind of passive-aggressive, too. Okay, don't like my idea? Fine, do it yourself.
Well,
That's not giving, that's guilt-inducing. Now, come on, I mean, I didn't just come in on a load of turnips, okay? So I understand, it's fine, you want to do it your way, go ahead. Well, could you tell me what church we were using? No. I mean, you've got to do it with a spirit of giving. And if she is going to give you the wedding, then you need to accept the economic structure involved and stay within it.
Well, I'm trying.
I didn't say try, I said stay within it. If she says, here's the budget, this is what we as your parents can afford for flowers and church and reception, then that is what it is. If you don't like that, then add to it. If you want more, then you got to pony up the dough.
Absolutely.
To do that. Mm-hmm. And interestingly enough, one of the top 10 things that brides say 5 years after the fact that they would have changed about their wedding, they would have invited fewer people that were closer friends and a whole lot less should invites. The best wedding book, I believe, that has ever been written and is on the market is this one by Peggy Post. Do you have this one?
No, I don't have that one.
This is, you do now. This is the wedding etiquette book by Peggy Post. I mean, this isn't some rube from Hicksville. This is from Peggy Post. Good friend of mine, been on the show a number of times. We talked to Peggy this morning. And my position is you do what makes you feel good and what you're happy about. Here's what Peggy had to say. I always tell brides, listen with an open mind politely and try to go with some of Mom's suggestions. But the bottom line is it's really the couple's decision and the bride's wedding. The only real rule is to be respectful and considerate. Weddings today are a blend of tradition and personal touches. The only rule is there are no rules. So that's from the lady that wrote the wedding etiquette book, which you are now the proud owner of. Okay? Even though her wedding happened 8 years ago, Kesha cries every time she thinks about it. And they're not tears of joy. You'll understand.
My wedding was a disaster from beginning to end. On the day of my wedding, it was the hottest day of the year.
It felt like we were burning in hell inside the church.
We're getting dressed, and one of my cousins comes to tell me that she's in love with my future husband. I could feel my hands balling up into a fist to really knock her out.
As I was coming down the aisle in my beautiful white dress, my train got caught in a nail that was sticking out of the floor.
There was a baby crying, and the baby cried throughout almost the entire ceremony.
Kesha had started her vows, and right in the middle of it, we just heard a gasp, and one of the bridesmaids was collapsing to the floor.
It was so hot, she faints. My immediate reaction is, oh my God, she's dead. My grandfather is the one that married us. He told Art how pretty I looked right now, and she's so lovely. But you understand that if 10 years down the road she gains 50 pounds, that's still your fat wife. And that stands out because I looked at my grandfather like, I can't believe that you said that on my wedding day. The limousine, oh my God. It was rented from a funeral home. It wasn't a hearse, but I think it was the limousine that probably took the family to the gravesite. The food at the wedding reception was horrible. The macaroni and cheese was still frozen, kind of dropped on the plate like a big thud. We wanted to have dancing at the reception. We wanted to have our first dance, but my grandmother was a strict old Christian upbringing where you do not dance. When I am by myself, I do think about my wedding. It just really kind of makes me sad. I really wish that I can do it again.
I just say, Kesha, just let it go. It's water under the bridge, but she doesn't let it go.
Here comes the bride again.
DrPhil, my wedding was horrific. It was 8 years ago, and I just can't stop thinking about redoing it. Can you help a sister out?
You have to agree it was memorable, right?
Yes, it was.
Because we read thousands and thousands of letters in preparation for this show, and yours was the only one that involved tackling someone. Because it's my understanding that when your cousin showed up to say she was in love with your husband-to-be, that the bridesmaids tackled her and drug her outside.
Yeah. Drug her outside to get her, like, get yourself together, okay? This is her wedding, and you're a bridesmaid, and you have to stand up there with her. And we don't want to have to.
So after you tackled her and drug her outside, did she come stand up there in the wedding party?
She came and stand up in the wedding party because.
You're serious?
I'm very serious.
You let her back in the church?
It wasn't my idea.
And I mean, I want to party with this guy. Now, and his ex-wife showed up and made a scene at the church.
She made a scene at the church. That particular part I didn't see myself, but I could see
his sister running out, and they ran out, and she was, I'm coming in, I want to.
Okay, and then when you got ready to walk down the aisle, your mother and your uncle got in a screaming fight.
The wedding was
Were y'all raised by wolves? This was before you ripped your dress and the other bridesmaid fainted.
That's before all of that.
Okay, and when she fainted, you thought she was dead.
The way she fell, and it was like everything that was going on, and this was like the straw that broke the camel's back, and she just dropped. And I just said, oh my God, why not? Somebody died.
Hell, at that point, I'd have just stepped over her and got married, just go with the flow, right? And you said they didn't have the right pins to put your veil on, and so your grandmother took straight pins and fashioned it to your head?
Straight pins to fasten it to my head, which wasn't supposed to touch my scalp.
Were you bleeding?
It did draw a little blood, yes. It did.
And no dance.
No dance.
You said your number one regret was that you didn't get to dance with your husband, but because your grandmother didn't like dancing?
She didn't believe in dancing, and she
Well,
was...
take a chair, Grandma. Have a seat.
But she was kind of forking out the money for the reception, and so...
Oh, there we go with the money again.
And so she...
Can she borrow your book? To get this money business straight.
When Arthur proposed to me, it was sort of a surprise. He just said, I really love Kesha and I really would like to marry her. And that's when the calamity of errors started.
Well, we've been talking about wedding day catastrophes. Despite everything that could go wrong and did go wrong, the one thing that went right is that Kesha married the man of her dreams. True?
True.
And,
very true.
And like I was saying to break, it stuck.
Yes, it did.
Y'all been married. And everybody that didn't like him then loves him now, right?
Now.
Because they've seen that he's a good man and a good provider.
Yes.
And you've had two wonderful children and a loving relationship. And that seems to me that makes it a real big success.
It makes it a big success, but I still think about just redoing it all over again.
Yeah.
And just now that everybody knows what a good person he is, what a good husband that he did make, that now we can have everybody around and love and support.
And it's okay to do that if you want to do it, but I'll promise you, if you still have really high expectations, it won't live up. The one thing I'll ask you to do is, can you refocus on what did go right that day? You did stand up in the church. You did make a covenant before God to be life partners. You did get married. A lot of wonderful things flowed from that. And I'm not saying that you have to like all the other things that went on, but can you shift your focus a little bit? And I'm not saying that that's going to take away the fact that you didn't have the things that you wanted and you didn't get to dance and all of that sort of thing, but can you shift your focus a little bit?
I think I can.
And your husband, Arthur, he loves you.
Yes.
And he wants you to be happy. In fact, he asked us for a special request that you don't know about, and I graciously obliged him. Arthur, come on out. All right.
Kesha, I really regret that we weren't able to have our first dance because of your grandmother's wishes. So could I have this dance?
be right back. Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.